Good evening. Andy McDonald, ZPC. Regarding the discussion that you had as a discussion item regarding the ball field project and the sewer, I just wanted to clarify and make it clear to you a number of things, and related to what Mr. Godlewski said. I don't have the benefit of the chronology that was given to you by Mr. Yule, but we have created our own chronology. And for the record, I represent William Warner and Sons, the project applicant. We received the rezone approval in July of 2010. It took 11 months to get through the Planning Commission. We received Planning Commission June 21st, I believe. That was nearly 3 months ago. We've yet to have any type of sewer approval. We have requested through the supervisor's office who sets the agenda, we have twice requested that a matter be put on the agenda to take action on the public hearing that was held and is actually still open regarding creating a district extension. Mr. Godlewski comes into, and both times, those matters were pulled from the agenda at the last minute by your public works coordinator. The reason, on a Friday before the agenda meeting, not this time, the meeting before this one, I received a phone call from Mike Griesmer, who informed me that he had recommended to Frank that the item come off the agenda because it hadn't been referred to DEC. Well, he had the map plan and report since July 7th. He had it for weeks. It's the town's responsibility to refer it to DEC. How can he call me up on a Friday and say it's being pulled from the agenda because I didn't do my job and refer it to DEC? This is the same individual who has twice stated at meetings that he is personally against a district extension to benefit this project, and he wants an out-of-district contract. Well, respectfully, he's not the person that makes that decision. The 5 of you do. He can't overrule a district extension. That's a town board function. That's what we've been asking you to place on the agenda and consider. Why is it important? Well, what Mr. Godlewski didn't mention is, out-of-district contracts in Rotterdam, you pay rate and a half. You pay 1.5. To my client, that's $26,000 a year. Over 20 years, it's $500,000 he would be required to pay because Mike Griesmer doesn't want a district extension and doesn't provide a sufficient justification. And I would point out that whether it's in district or it's out of district, both of them have to be reviewed by DEC because it's one connection more than 2,500 gallons. So it's going to DEC regardless. It has to be reviewed, in district or out of district. So why should my client pay an extra $26,000 a year just because Mike doesn't want it to be a district extension? That's what's never been sufficiently explained to us. Now, Mr. Godlewski comes in tonight and says, and listen carefully to what he said. He said, right now, and I'm paraphrasing, right now, it's on our clock for holding up the project. I've come up with a mechanism where if you pass it tonight, we can bounce it back to the applicant's clock. And then the applicant will be responsible if the Little League fields don't get built. Well, you know, I'm the one, and I know you will agree, I'm the one that has been banging the drum whenever I've spoken with you at these meetings or at the agenda meetings that we're running out of time and there may not be Little League fields next year. Please act upon our sewer approval. It's the last approval we need to close the property with the county so they can lease it to the ball fields. We've requested to be on the agenda twice. It's been pulled from the agenda twice. We don't want to get in a situation where we're bouncing the blame back and forth. Oh, it's our responsibility right now. Let's bounce it over to the applicant. And then it's their responsibility if they don't get built. We want to see them built. No one, and you remember when Mr. Cabrera from the Little League was here and spoke highly of my client, no one can question my client's commitment to the Little League. I am not going to sit back and allow my client to be blamed if those fields aren't built in time when we have consistently throughout this summer, since we got our approval in June, requested action on our request for a district extension. Now, that being said, Mr. Calder tonight said, is there room for negotiation? As I said Monday night, we will meet with anyone, anytime, anywhere to discuss these issues and put our position on the record. Not afraid to do it. I've done it. I've just did it here. We are more than willing to do that. But the clock is ticking. And Mr. Godlewski is correct. Right now it's your clock that's ticking. So we need to come together. We need an explanation why my client isn't entitled to a district extension, which is something that anybody under the law can apply for, and why my client, the recommendation from your staff is my client get gouged an extra $26,000 a year when there's no justification for it. It doesn't make sense to us. We have the public hearing. We can reopen the public hearing. We can close it. You can act upon a district extension. That's something that you can do. It needs to be referred to DEC. That's entirely correct. But the out-of-district contract's going to need to be referred anyway because it's the type of connection that requires a referral to DEC. So, am I frustrated? Yes. Do I want to get in a situation where we're kicking blame back and forth on who's responsible? No. I want to get the project done. We need one more approval. It's the only one that's holding up. It's the sewer approval. What I would suggest, whatever form you decide, if you're going to follow Griezmann's recommendation, it needs to be fair and equitable to my client. He needs to be treated just like everybody else in this town. And he needs to be able to pursue his rights just like anybody else in this town can. So with that, thank you.
Mr. Brook, Andy, I have requested that we all meet in a room. I thought we were going to do today, because at Monday night you said you would be there. We asked Mike Griezmann. So I'm asking, formally requesting that at the next agenda meeting, we're all in the same room. Mike Griezmann, whoever else from the town that needs to be there, and Mr. Brook, so we can hear it for ourselves. This has been going on too long, and I resent the fact that I'm told tonight that now I'm holding up the baseball fields. We approved this last year. So could you please be, and you were absolutely correct, we had it on twice, it was pulled off. We walked into the agenda, no reason why it was pulled off, we'll tell you later, I hear this, I hear that, there was always excuses. Okay, I'm not going to be blamed for children not having their fields, you know? So, could you be available at the agenda meeting?
Absolutely.
Frank, Mr. Supervisor, can you please have Mike Griezmann and our people at the next agenda meeting so we can discuss this?
He'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you have it on public record. They will be in the room on the agenda meeting to talk about this, you know, this thing that's just laying over our heads right now.
Thank you.
And the other thing I would say is, I think there's emotions running high here. They're all professional people. I realize that on both sides, people are getting excited, like yourself.
Yes.
And that's, I know you're not nobody like this
Out of character for me.
into this. So I think that if we all can just settle down and work for the good of what's good for everybody. That's all. You put personal things, whether it's like Griezmann or whether it is, put that all aside and do the right thing.
I'll take a deep breath, I'll calm down. Be at the agenda meeting, absolutely. Sure.
We'll see you at the next agenda meeting.
Okay.
Andy, we'll talk about the whole situation from A to Z.
Sure, absolutely. And
Everybody
you know,
understands what's to be gained and what's to be lost and what is stopping this.
and I'm more than willing to do that. And we had said Monday, we talk about it globally, because there may be a global solution. We're more than willing to discuss that.
And
Okay?
you can argue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.